Hey everybody, Aficionados Chris here, and today is a very special review. I'm so happy about this one. Today I'm reviewing The Gold Rush, Charlie Chaplin's finest work. It comes to us from the great Criterion Collection. They are one of my favorite companies. I know I say that a lot, but I really mean this. I'm so happy to working with Criterion because they are consistently doing so many great releases of so many fine films. In fact, one of my all-time favorite movies is a Criterion release. That would be Fritz Lang's M. But I'm going to stop yakking. Let's go unbox this thing and show you what Criterion has done with this masterful release. So here we have the Criterion release of Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush. This is such a great release. I always love the one thing about Criterion is that they never use those standard Blu-ray cases. They're much too pristine for that. They always use these really cool clear cases. So in fact, if you didn't know any better, you could pass it off as a. I also love the artwork, how it's a drawn version of Charlie Chaplin in the Klondike, and of course the Gold Rush right here in a nice big gold background. And of course right there you have the Criterion logo. And it's just as good on the spine, The Gold Rush, a film by Charles Chaplin, and of course this is spine number 615. And here we have a shot of the back. Let's get a little more closer so you can see some of the credentials. As for bonus features, we have a new high-definition digital restoration of the 1942 sound version with an uncompressed monaural soundtrack, a new 2K digital transfer of the reconstructed original 1925 silent film. They've also reconstructed the original Chaplin score, which is presented in a 5.1 surround sound DTS HD master audio, a new audio commentary for the 1925 version by Chaplin biographer Jeffrey Vance, 3 new programs including presenting The Gold Rush, which traces the film's history and features filmmaker Kevin Brownlow and Vance. A Time of Innovation, the visual effects in The Gold Rush, featuring effects specialist Craig Barron and Chaplin cinematographer Roland Totaro. And music by Charles Chaplin featuring conductor and composer Timothy Brock. Chaplin Today, The Gold Rush 2002, a short documentary, and it also includes 4 trailers. So here you have a shot of it open up, and look at this. Look at how beautiful this is done. Of course, look at the disc art right here of The Gold Rush. It's very nice in gold, of course, with the black lettering. It really looks nice. And of course, like any standard Criterion release, you of course have the booklet with this really nice artwork. There's a shot of the back of it. Now let's kind of shift through these pages a bit. There's an essay on this, on the restoration of the 1925 version, how much time it took to reconstruct it to make it match what it would have looked like back in 1925. And here we have an original Time magazine article on the 1942 re-release of The Gold Rush, which had a brand new narration provided by Charlie Chaplin himself. And we also have an essay about the transfer and the restoration in the 1925 version. And here we have a quick shot of the back artwork. It's really nice. The black and gold just really looks nice. I know I say nice a lot, but just look at it. Isn't it a beauty? So that's an overall look at the Blu-ray Criterion release of Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush. Let's go back to the chair for the rest of my review. And that's the overall look at the Gold Rush Criterion release. If you don't know who Charlie Chaplin is, I guess you've been living under a rock or something, because without him we wouldn't have some of the finest comedy films. And Charlie Chaplin basically set a milestone in filmmaking and comedy and timing and all that sort of thing. And it's always weird that these are the kind of movies I didn't watch in history. In fact, I watched them in art classes, which I don't know why that is, but it was always a common thing, is that Charlie Chaplin movies would be played in my art class. And of course, this being one of the most popular ones, that and The Kid, which is another favorite of mine, which I'm also hoping Criterion releases, because that's actually one of my personal favorites. But The Gold Rush is a classic, and if you already know, it's got some very infamous gags. Like, of course, the most famous one is of Charlie Chaplin eating his own shoe to survive the cold. But the basic plot is that Charlie Chaplin is a prospector, and in the beginning he gets stuck in a cabin with a bigger guy, and they have they have to basically try to survive. So they eat his shoe. It also has another very famous gag, which is the dancing dinner rolls, which, if most of you know, is when he takes the forks and 2 dinner rolls and makes it look like it's dancing feet under his chin. So that's another famous bit that came from this movie. Charlie Chaplin's a lone prospector, as he's called, out in the Klondike, and he ends up falling for a woman named Georgina. It's basically kind of a romantic, tragic comedy, if that's the best way I can describe it. But if you've never seen a Charlie Chaplin film, this is the one I recommend the most. Either that or The Kid. Either one of those, you can't go wrong. In fact, you can't go wrong with Chaplin, period. But if you've never seen Charlie Chaplin, I'm shocked, but check this one out. It's a must-have, especially on Criterion's Blu-ray release, because this is a stellar release, and it's just the perfect way to see it. And of course, the other thing I have to mention, it includes both versions, the 1942 sound version and the 1925 sound version. And of course, the 1925 sound version was actually thrown away by Chaplin himself years ago. So what Criterion has done is basically reconstructed from all the film elements that they could gather to give us the best possible presentation of what it would have been if the 1925 version had basically still survived. But, you know, other than that, it looks great. I prefer the silent version because I'm a silent nut. Both cuts of the film look absolutely beautiful on Blu-ray, and you must pick this up. I cannot stress that enough. If you're a film fan, you owe yourself to pick up this release. Thank you so much for watching the video, and see you all later.